Welcome to this full body yoga practice where we're going to be doing a little bit of everything, appreciating that everything in our body is connected, including our low back. And a lot of times we get tension in our low back from too much sitting or from the habit of having an anterior tilt or even a posterior tilt. So we're going to have a lot of awareness of how to relieve any tightness and pressure in our low back. Part of that is going to be using our core, using our glutes, and making sure that we have a little bit of a posterior tilt, or at least not an anterior tilt. So not like a sway back, but more like a flatter back with a gentle curve. So let's start on our backs. Oh, and please have a rolled up towel or a rolled up blanket handy that you can use for support. And yeah, so let's start on our backs. And first, just take a moment to let your whole body relax. Feeling the support of the earth, feeling the support of your breath. And just doing a body scan, a full body scan from your head to your toes. Noticing any areas that feel stuck or tight, any areas that are injured, any areas that feel really strong and healthy. Because we always have a mix of both. It's not like everything is all bad or everything is all good. It's a mixture. Now place your hand on your belly, both hands on your belly, and tilt your pelvis, your back hip bones toward the floor. So you're flattening your back on the floor. And then tilt your pelvis forward so there's an arch underneath your low back. And just tilt forward and back. And notice if you feel any difference in your abs where your hands are, whether the pelvis is tilted forward or back. So with our knees bent, to have a healthy low back, we need to be able to flatten our low back to the floor. And if that's hard, just put a little extra effort into it and get it just as far as close as you can. And squeeze your glutes a little bit so your glutes are active, and that will help keep that low back pressing into the earth. Then float your right leg up and then your left leg up. Keep your low back nice and flat. And reach your shoulders off the floor, reach your arms forward and stretch your right leg back down, but try and keep your back flat. Pull your knee in, straighten your leg, straighten your left leg down, keeping the back flat, pull in, lift up. Just do that a few more times, each side. Trying to keep your back flat and maybe even slow the movement down. And you can always use your hands to support your head if you like. You'll notice your back is probably going on a lift. Let's see if you can keep your muscles engaged and keep it flat. We'll do one more time each side. And then rest on the floor again. Bend your knees and circle your knees around your hips, giving your low back and your glutes a little massage. Reverse the direction of the circles. Bring your feet down to the floor, and we're just going to start lifting up into a bridge pose. It gets higher and higher with each lift. So press your feet into the floor, hug your legs in towards each other, squeeze your glutes, and start to curl your tailbone towards the back of your knee, slowly lifting your back one vertebrae at a time off the ground. Try not to relax so that your hips drop, but try and keep them active to support your low back. And slowly lower all the way down. Trying to keep that posterior tilt so your hips land last. Do that a couple more times. So press your feet down, hug your legs in, squeeze your glutes, float up. Now if there's any back pain, maybe just engage your glutes a little bit more, maybe don't go up quite as high. So we're trying to be really aware of not aggravating our low back at all. Good, one more time. Press down, squeeze in, squeeze the glutes. Let the glutes help you lift up. And as you lower down, think that you're getting a little stretch in your spine, maybe a little traction even. And when all the weight of your hips settle into the floor, hug your knees into your chest again and do some circles again. Reverse the direction of your circles. Hold the back of your legs. We'll use our legs to pump back and forth, but try and keep your back rounded so you don't have a thud in your low back, but it feels like it's nice and smooth. And that takes some effort to do. And we'll rock up to seated. Grab your blanket that you've rolled up, and you can determine the size, the height of your roll by how much your blanket's rolled up. So if you want a smaller roll, you can always unroll it part way. And then with your blanket rolled up, try not to do it too fast so it's just a big messy lump, but it should be like relatively smooth. And now we're going to start with the blanket up, pressing into the bottom tips of our shoulder blades. So not the top up here. This should have nothing underneath, just air, and the roll goes under here, so we create a little upper back bend. And because everything is connected, if we open up our upper back, which tends to be really tight in this position because of all the ribs we have attached to it, it will help release tension in the low back. You can bring your legs into any position you like. I like to have my knees resting in on each other. And your arms can be in cactus or straight out to the side or over your head. We're just going to focus on our breath here, relaxing into this blanket roll. And even here, maybe have a little teeny bit of a posterior tilt. So you're not arching your back so much, but you're trying to flatten it a little bit. But most importantly, stay relaxed. With every inhale, feel like you're almost lifting off the blanket roll. And with every exhale, feel like you're settling deeper towards the earth. So as you inhale, the energy kind of lifts you up, like you're defying gravity. And the exhale relaxes you down. We're just going to stay here for about 5 more breaths. Let's see if you can make your breath nice and slow. So there's a feeling of relaxation here, feeling of surrender. Just one more breath here, inhaling and exhaling. And now we're just going to gently roll towards our side so that we can move the blanket a little bit further down. So now it's going to be more into the mid-back, more or less around the bottom, the lower ribs, bottom of our rib cage. And just notice if you're able to keep your hips on the floor and your shoulders on the floor. This is too much. Remember, you can always unroll the blanket. You could also add something, another blanket underneath your hips to make the arc less strong. Again, just relax here. You can make any little adjustments that you like. And notice the sensations that are released as you're in this supported pose, just letting the muscles that hold a lot of tension, letting them release. We'll stay here just a few more breaths. As you finish your next exhale, pause and then gently roll to your side again. And this time we'll move the blanket roll off the mat and come right back down onto your back. And just notice how your back feels now. Again, make sure your low back is flattened into the floor. And just place your hands on your rib cage and see if you can make your rib cage not pop up, but just kind of melt down. And push your feet down and forward into the ground. That will flatten your back even a little bit more. And relax and let go without any effort, just resting here. As you inhale, see if you can feel your back pressing into the floor. And see if you can feel your rib cage moving out, like from side to side. Place your hands on the edge of your rib cage and notice the movement that you feel underneath your hands as you breathe. Bring your feet as wide as the mat and open your arms out to the side. Begin to slowly twist your knees to the right, reaching out through your left knee. Maybe feeling a little bit of a stretch in your psoas and in your quad. Then inhale, come back to center, and as you exhale, twist to the left, reaching through your right knee. And just move forward and back, side to side at your own pace. Taking time to smell the roses, feel the stretch, and appreciate your breath and how gentle movement can be so healing. So we need a balance of strong effort, building strength, and relaxing movements, like letting our bodies restore and recover. Come back to center, hold the back of your legs, and begin to rock back and forth again. Trying to round your spine. And then we'll rock up into tabletop. So coming onto your forearms and your knees. And puff up into your back, scoot the tailbone underneath. Draw your chin towards your chest. And then start to lengthen out and come into a little arch. Press your arms into the floor. And start to tuck the tailbone again, puff your low back up like you're trying to find some space around your sacrum. And slowly, like a melting feeling, let your rib cage melt toward the floor as you lift your head up. And again, reverse that. And just move slowly at your own pace. And set your hips back on your heels for child's pose. Reach your arms forward a little bit, finding more space in your shoulders. And curl your tailbone under. So a little extra effort to stretch out the low back. And slide your hands back by your feet. Keep the back rounding as you start to roll up, squeezing your legs in towards each other. Start to bring the shoulders back and lift your chest up. Little tiny back bend. And start to curl your chin to your chest, round your shoulders, and come forward again. And
And then activating your glutes to lengthen out your low back. Start to rise back up.
One more time. Moving slowly. And if you feel any like tweaks in your back, just pause and listen to your body and maybe do a little bit of a adjustment. And tailbone down. Lift your hips up. Twist a little bit towards your right. And you can tuck your toes or you can point your toes. It's up to you. Use your glutes to tuck your tailbone underneath you and reach back for your heel. Keep squeezing the glutes, pressing your thighs forward, keeping your legs active as you come up. And twist to the other side. So we don't want to just relax our butt and have this like crease in our back. We're trying to lengthen that out and keep the legs active to come up. So we're just doing a little bit of twisting, getting into a little bit of a back bend. Now let's come down onto our hands and knees and tabletop. Round your spine and start to swing your hips from side to side. And you can turn your right foot out to the right or keep it lined up with your right knee. Stretch your left leg back. Lift your ribs up and reach your arms up and over your head. Pick your left leg up, swing it out to the side and step it all the way forward. Bring your left hand to your left knee, reach your right arm up and over. Bring your right hand back, bring both hands behind your back, tuck your tailbone a little bit and reach your arms away from your back. Stretch your knee forward. And shift your weight back. You can use blocks if you have them, or hands to the floor. Slide your left foot forward. Tuck the tailbone a little bit and begin to twist from side to side. So you're internally rotating your hips and then externally rotating the hips. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot, pick your left leg up and swing it all the way over to the right. Puff up into your back and push out through your heel. And come back into your tabletop. Again, round your spine, sway the hips. And stretch your right leg out, reach your right ribs up, and then reach your arm up and over your head. Finding a big stretch. And pick your leg up, swing it all the way forward to the front of your mat. Bringing your right hand to your right thigh. Reach your left arm up and over, big stretch. Try and keep the glutes active. Come back to center. Interlace your hands behind your back. And start to stretch your knee forward. And release your hands. Start to shift your weight back. Maybe sliding that right foot forward. Begin to internally and externally rotate the hips. Pick your leg up, swing it all the way over to the left. Reach out through your heel. And come back into your tabletop. Grip the mat with your hands so that you have a firm connection to the earth. And begin to do some nice slow cat-cow movements. Really paying attention to your spine and to your whole body. And tuck your toes, lift your hips up, knees up, stretch back to down dog. Do little pelvic tilts here.
You can bend your knees. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale back to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale back to down dog. Again, inhale forward to plank. Exhale back, down dog. Reach your right leg up. Externally rotate your hips so your toes point out to the side. Keep your leg lifted as you swing it out to the side, lowering your foot to the floor. Do some gentle movements here. And pick your right knee up, stretch it all the way forward, coming into pigeon. Adjust your hands, adjust your feet. Curl the tailbone under so your legs are active, so your glutes are active. And shift to the right, and then shift over to the left, rocking back and forth. Start to lower your torso toward the ground. And you can play with your pelvic tilt. You can play with how much you push your foot or your feet into the ground, and what you hug your legs in. And just notice what happens with each little movement, what feeling arises in your body. Maybe you can do a little shoulder flossing. Lifting and lowering your chest toward the floor. If you want, you can wing your elbows out to the side, which is going to bring you a little closer to the floor. And vacillate between hugging in, engaging your muscles, and then relaxing and letting go. And start to walk your hands back. Tuck your back toes if they're not already tucked, and lift up and back into your down dog. On your next inhale, reach your left leg up. Externally rotate the hips and swing your leg all the way out to the side. Move around here. And then as you come forward, pull your left knee in, stretch it forward, slide your right leg back a little bit. And activate your pigeon, shifting to the right, shifting to the left. Press your feet into the ground. Little gentle movements back and forth. You can start to slowly lower down towards the ground with your chest, with your belly. You can actively press your feet into the ground to feel your muscles light up and engage. And find that ability to melt. Maybe bring the elbows out to the side. Just a few more breaths here. And come on back up.
Walk your hands back, tuck your back toes.
And lift up and back into your down dog. Maybe do little pelvic tilts in your down dog. And walk your feet forward to your hands. Come up onto your fingertips. You can bend your knees if you like. Lift all your toes up and spread them apart. And lower the toes down, lift the heels up. Squeezing your legs in towards each other. And lower the heels down. Shift your weight into your heels, lifting the front of the foot up, the feet up, drawing your toes towards your shins. Just rock back and forth. Next time your heels are down, bend your knees deeper like you're sitting in a chair. Utkatasana, curl the tailbone under and reach your arms up. And as you push into your feet, straighten your right leg, pull the left knee up. Open your hip out to the side, place your foot on your inner thigh. Tree pose. Root the tailbone down. And cross your left ankle above your right knee as you sink down again, cactusing your elbows, tucking the tailbone underneath you. And swing your leg back behind you, coming into crescent lunge. Open up here. Draw the tailbone underneath you a little bit and then puff up into your chest. Lift your heart up, straighten your arms. And step forward into Tadasana. Lower your arms down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, float them down. This time, as you reach up, pull your right knee up. Squeezing your knee up nice and high. Externally rotate your hip, place your foot on your inner thigh for tree pose. Tailbone down. Then step your foot back, coming into crescent lunge. Tuck the tailbone underneath a little bit. Squeeze your inner thighs, puff up into your chest. Cactus your elbows first, lifting your chest high, and then extend your arms nice and long. And step back into your Tadasana, lower the arms down. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, palms together. Bring your hands down the center line of your body. And reach out again and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, lower. On your next inhale, pull the right knee up. Open up, tree pose. Cross your right ankle above your left knee, sink down. And swing your leg back behind you, crescent lunge. Open up here. So keep your legs active, hugging in. Puff your chest up. Keep the glutes active as you reach your arms back behind you. And step forward, back into your Tadasana. Just take a moment to shake things out. And we'll do a little bit of swinging. So with your feet a little wider than your hips, first just shift your weight from side to side. You can get a little, put a little of your own flavor into this. And then we're going to do some swinging. So we're just going to swing to the right, bend your knees, swing to the left. Just get a nice, easy movement going. Nice, come back to center, step back into your Tadasana. Reach your tailbone down. Inhale, pull the left knee up. Open up, tree pose. Cross your left ankle above your right knee, sink down.
Extend your arms out to the side, reach your left leg back for a warrior 3. And step back, crescent lunge. Open up, warrior 2. Reach back, reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg. Keep your glutes engaging as you reach forward into your triangle. Open up. Lower your top hand down. Float your right leg up into down dog splits. And lower back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward. Tuck your tailbone and come on into a squat. Lowering as far as is comfortable for you. And just work on rounding your back and trying to straighten your back. Hug your knees into your elbows and press your elbows out into your knees. And then lower your hips all the way to the floor. Wrap your arms around your legs. Stretch your back behind you. So you're rounding your spine, stretching it out. And slide your feet forward. Keep your back rounded as you slowly lower down. Hug your knees into your chest and circle your knees around your hips again in both directions. Float your arms and legs up into dead bug pose. Notice if your low back is flat on the floor. And see if you can make it flat. If it's not, just with a little bit of effort. Relax your shoulders and your hips. Now open your arms out to the side with the palms down. Bring your legs into 90 degrees. Keep your back pressing into the floor, low back pressing into the floor, and squeeze your knees and your ankles in towards each other. And we're just going to twist about halfway to the right, pressing your right leg up into your left leg. And then come back to center and twist to the left, pressing your left leg up into the right leg. We'll do that 2 more times, and you're welcome to go a little further in your twist if you like. Just rolling back and forth, keeping a little bit of that posterior tilt, that engagement of your glutes. You might even get a free adjustment in your spine. Good, come back to center. And this time, if it's comfortable for you, you can lower all the way to the floor, but you have your blanket. So if it's too much, you can always place the blanket either between your knees or underneath the bottom leg. So we want to be able to rest on the floor. But as always, listen to your own body. If this is too deep of a twist, you can modify. You could go back into dead bug pose, floating your arms and legs up. Let yourself relax here. Listen to the wind in the trees. And engage your glutes. Scoop the tailbone down, come back up to center, and twist over to the left. Just be aware that both sides are probably not equal. They're going to feel different in some way or another. So it's up to you to modify for that so that you feel comfortable. At the same time, you feel like you're getting more of a stretch than you might in your normal day without this practice. We'll stay here a few more breaths. And gently pull your hips back to the ground. Float your arms and legs up again, dead bug pose, flattening your back on the ground. And start to circle your wrists, your ankles, move your fingers and toes. Press your low back into the floor. And hug your knees into your chest. And we'll do a short savasana, just stretching out. Make those little adjustments. We'll focus on your exhales and letting go. So in this position with the legs straight, you might have a little bit of space underneath your low back. It's different if your knees are bent, then it naturally flattens your back. And when they're straight, you might have a little arch, or you could play with, just how much of an arch do you want there? You don't want your low ribs coming off the floor, so you don't want a big arch like this. But can you relax down? Maybe pump your feet, like point and flex, so your whole body gets a little shake on the ground. And then let yourself melt into stillness, relative stillness. There's always some movement going on inside of us as long as we're alive. It's subtle, but it's there. And the more you learn to be aware of that movement from the breath, even from thinking of all the different systems in our body that are moving, our circulation, our nervous system, our lymphatic system. Well, the lymphatic system we have to move. So maybe just think circulation, nervous system. Respiratory system. And you're welcome to stay here in Savasana longer if you like. I'll stay here with you for a few more breaths. Again, you can stay here, or you can make your way up to a comfortable seat. Just pause for a moment, noticing how you feel, how your back feels, how your whole body feels. And if you can feel the connection through all the fascia and the tendons and ligaments, the muscles, everything we do, from moving our fingers to wiggling our toes, has an effect that moves throughout our body. And some places are more obvious than others. And as you sit here, begin to do little pelvic tilts. Trying to keep your shoulders still. And come back to center, centering yourself. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope that you feel good. I hope your back feels good. I hope you learn something new about your body and movement and breath and how everything is connected. I would love it if you would leave a comment below, share this with a friend, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.